more projects with Naughty Dog, or is this the last one?
For now, last one. I know they're doing Last of Us 2, but my character in Last of Us kind of met an untimely demise.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to Breakthrough Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be having an analysis of the previous video that I made regarding some screenshots that were leaked about The Last of Us 2. Now we're going to be covering two images. On my last video I only showed you one, so in this video it's going to be a little different. I'm going to show you a second one, and we're going to be doing an analysis and why I believe this might either be real or fake. So stay tuned. Alright, so when you look at this picture, we're going to look at some little key points before we go and dive into the actual information within the picture. First of all, this picture was originally released by a lot of French magazines, and originally when the picture came out, it was immediately deleted right after. So in my opinion, that's already a good sign that it is a legit image. I mean, if it was fake, then, you know, there's no reason for them to delete it. If it's real, it also makes sense because in the picture itself, it says E3 2016. So these French magazines probably just published it and deleted it. They probably assumed the game was announced at E3, released the article, deleted it the minute they find out Naughty Dog had postponed it for some reason. So in that aspect, it does make sense why they would delete it. Another thing, Ellie's time frame. She was 14 in The Last of Us 1, 2013. Now she is 19 in The Last of Us 2, which according to this image is set to release in 2018. First of all, the age difference makes perfect sense. Literally, 5 years have passed, and Ellie is 5 years older. So, it makes perfect sense. Now, obviously, these are all things that can be manipulated and made up, but it's just more and more signs as to why this image is more than likely legitimate. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about, let's get a little closer here. If you can read here, it says, our team wanted to focus on the realism. Now, this confirms my previous video. But I'm not here to brag that I got the information right, I'm simply here to connect the dots. In my previous video I said how in an interview, one of the team members from Naughty Dog said, Neil Druckmann, that they wanted to focus on realism. They were pretty much explaining what their goal was for The Last of Us 2. They wanted to implement much more psychological factors and, you know, different varieties and different, you know, key points to make the player be more immersed into the game. What this means is that that interview that Neil Druckmann had is confirmed in this article right here, in this Game Informer. When you look at it closely, it says, our team wanted to focus on realism. This practically confirms the interview that Neil Druckmann had. What this means is that this is another big sign, a big flag, as to why this image is more than likely legitimate. Also, some side things I wanted to cover, a more mature Ellie. That's something that many fans have always wanted, to see Ellie grow up, see what her next adventures and story are, and in my opinion, this is also a sign that can be attributed to this, you know, image being legitimate. Naughty Dog has been begged for years to continue the story of Ellie. Many people were in love with her and wanted to see what happens next. So, it makes sense why they're continuing her story as she grows older. Now, one of my top 5 things we wanted from The Last of Us 2 video, I said that I wanted more flexibility, more buildings to interact with, more options to make the game more immersive. So the fact that I'm reading this picture here, and it's pretty much restating the facts, the things that I wanted from the game as they're being implemented into the game is simply astonishing. I find it amazing how they're actually putting that into the game, and they're focusing more on an aspect that I covered regarding the game without even knowing about it. So, that's pretty cool on one side. Alright, so another thing that I wanted to cover is the fact that this game is supposed to support 4K. Now this makes sense because more and more games are rooting towards having 4K available, especially with the new PlayStation 4 console coming out. So again, so far we have, let's do a little quick recap. Ellie, 14 in 2013, 19 in 2018. That's a 5-year gap right there, and it makes sense. The time difference is 100% accurate. Another thing, the French magazines put out the images and then deleted it. In the image itself, it says it was supposed to be released in E3 or announced in E3, which is what it says here on the Game Informer, but for some reason, as we know, the game was not announced. So it was most likely postponed till towards the PSX here in December in a couple months, which is another PlayStation convention. For those of you who don't know, PSX is specifically for PlayStation games, and E3 is for just games in general. So we might be seeing The Last of Us 2 be announced officially here in December. Another thing, the interview that Neil Druckmann had, where he says, our team wanted to focus on the realism, it's saying the same exact thing in this image. Neil Druckmann specifically said that the main point of The Last of Us 2 was to have the player be immersed into it. with a variety of different psychological factors. Now, this makes sense because they're confirming that information in this article right here, in this page of this Game Informer. So far the information seems very accurate. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that Naughty Dog and Sony have had such a long time partnership. The first PlayStation 3 came out with an Uncharted. Now, the time makes sense. Aside from the fact that these images look real, the age difference Ellie has matches 100% the years The Last of Us 1 came out towards the year that The Last of Us 2 is supposed to come out. I am fairly confident we'll be seeing a bundle of The Last of Us 2 with the new PlayStation 4 console, just like the original PlayStation 3 came with Uncharted. Other than that, I wanted to say thanks for watching my analysis. Stay tuned for more videos and don't forget to subscribe for a chance of winning a copy of The Last of Us 2 when it comes out. Thanks for watching and peace out.